Did you want me to get us started? Sorry, I wasn't sure.
I did, but I can also start.
I didn't hear what you said. You're gonna start? Go ahead. Yeah.
I can start, yeah. Welcome everyone to the 2024 Jacobs team. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. To the Jacobs Teen Innovation Challenge. I know we've been having some technical issues there, so we'll send out the recorded version of this webinar in case you missed the beginning of the information session. And we'll get started. Before we start, we also want to thank our partners and supporters that make this challenge possible annually. And of course, we would like to thank the general support of Dr. Irvin and Mrs. John Jacobs. And we'll have the co-founder of Packful. We're lucky to have Lisa Dolly with us today to get us started on getting some background information of the reason of why Packful was created.
Hi, everybody. So I'm just going to take a couple minutes to give you background so you understand the work that we do and why we host this challenge. And feel free to ask questions at any point in chat and we'll pick those up and answer them. So this idea of building a better world, that is really what we believe, that teens and teachers working together can build a better world. And the Teen Innovation Challenge was created along with an app and a curriculum called Packful in order to better support that process. Next slide, please. Packful, it was developed inside the Jacobs Institute for Innovation and Education at the University of San Diego. And our executive director, Perla Myers, is with us tonight if you want to wave hi, Perla. And we have a few other team members here with us. We're going to introduce those people in just a second. But the Institute, we do research evaluation, innovation design or development, and support professional learning around educational innovation. It's been an amazing opportunity to work at the Institute, and we're very grateful for the support that we have through our partners and our sponsors and donors. Next slide. And we are a nonprofit. So we'll just quickly introduce you to a couple of the few of the team members that are here tonight. Perla, would you like to say hello?
Yes, thank you. Welcome to all of you. It's so wonderful to see you, and we're excited to have you. And I'm as Lisa said, at the Jacobs Institute for Innovation in Education, and I get the amazing privilege of working with these incredible people that are here. So welcome.
In my role in the Institute, I'm currently a Senior Innovation Fellow. I was a co-founder building Packful, the curriculum, and it really came out of my experience as an educational entrepreneur and working with other great educators and their kids who are also innovative and entrepreneurial. And that's part of my background. Bianca?
Thank you, Lisa. And Perla, hi everyone, my name is Bianca Alvarado and I'm helping lead Packful this year and the challenge this year. So you'll be hearing a lot from me and also Anne, who will present herself in a moment. I also want to introduce Derek, who is helping us a lot on the back end to give you the features that you need to make Packful more accessible to you. So Anne, if you want to introduce yourself, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Annie Avalos. I will be your social innovation specialist. So I will be in charge of outreach to you guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me and email me at any point. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next slide, please. Well, I said this up front, at our core, the main mission and our focus is that we believe teens and their teachers can build a better world, and we're basically here to support that process. Next slide, please. A little bit about the research that grounds this work. This is a study from the Bell and Chetty, who are economists out of Stanford. And when we look, this is just a US focus, but when we look globally, we see changes like this too. Innovation doesn't happen the same in all geographic locations. It's different based on where you grow up in the country. And so your likelihood of becoming an innovator can be grounded in the environment that you grow up in. And if you look at these, I think there are 5 cities highlighted on here. These 5 cities are responsible for over 90 to 95% of the patent activity in the United States. And so these are highly innovative cities with a lot of funding and a lot of focus on creating new innovations. And you can see, as you look around the country, especially in the Southeast, you don't get as much of that type of activity. It doesn't mean that there isn't innovation going on. This is just one snapshot looking at patent rates, but there can be geographical inequities just based on where kids grow up. Next slide, please. We're also looking at variables like gender. This comes out of that same report, and this is changing. More females are becoming innovators compared to males. So when we look at gender, but I think when this study came out, it was like at this rate, at the current rate of growth, it would take over 100 years to reach equity. So we have inequity with innovation just among gender or by gender. Next slide, please. And we also have inequitable access by race and ethnicity. And so these are all pieces that we're trying to increase access to innovation culture. Whether you grow up in poverty, based on your race, your gender, your geographic location, there are a lot of variables involved in who becomes an innovator and who gets access to innovation culture. Next slide, please. And I think this was our last one, just based on income. So the blue dots are your number of innovators per thousands of kids. And down at the bottom, it's income. And so you can see that as parents' income goes up, your likelihood of becoming an innovator as a kid goes up too, to the point where the top 1% of the wealthy are 10 times more likely to become innovators. And so it's these types of issues that we're trying to overcome as part of creating the app and curriculum and the challenge itself. Next slide, please. Oh, I thought this was really interesting. In that report, they refer to there are potentially millions of kids around the world. They called them the lost Einsteins that could become Einstein-like, invent innovative solutions if they only had access to that type of innovation culture and improve the rate of innovation. And why do you want to improve the rate of innovation? Who cares about it? Innovation, and there are a lot of markers of what makes innovation, increases economic prosperity. Countries that are highly innovative tend to have more economic resources in the billions of dollars. Yeah, thank you so much. So this goes back to this idea that there's millions of lost Einsteins, kids who could be highly innovative and they just don't have the exposure to the skills, the thought processes, and the culture around them and the resources in order to do that. Okay, next slide. And I think I'm done. Next one.
Yes. Yes. So that's the reason why Lisa co-funded Packful, and we'll show you and through the webinar what Packful does and what kind of access to curriculum and tools you'll have access to. So let me start here. We'll start with a video to give you an overview of what Packful is. And let me know if the chat, if you're not able to hear audio, please.
Anyone can be a social innovator. Social innovation is all about people around the world working together to solve local and global problems. In 2015, the United Nations agreed to make the world a better place by establishing 17 global goals. These goals offer a framework to address large social challenges such as poverty, hunger, and climate change. Here, you'll develop an innovator's mindset to tackle any challenge and create solutions aligned to a global goal. These solutions could be something as small as how to handle food waste at home, or as large as how to provide clean drinking water to anyone in your city. To make the world a better place, it takes people like you working in teams. Using the design thinking process, you'll identify issues, brainstorm ideas, and prototype incredible new
Yeah, we're having an audio issue. Bianca, are you still there?
solutions to problems that affect us. Your design thinking.
Yes. Let me know if you can hear it better now.
Powerful innovator.
Okay, we'll send the slides in case there's any you want to rewatch the video. But that's the basic idea behind Packful, that you help students become innovators. You design local and global problems aligned to the global goals and practice design thinking. So that's where you start. I'll show you in a moment the platform, and you'll be able to see how you start main point of selecting what goal they want to work on to be able to design their project. And we do this through the process of design thinking. And you'll be able to see that we break it down into 4 phases. Understand the pitch where students, you also make the pitches of students, and we'll go over the timeline in a moment too. So in the platform, you'll have access to over 32 activities that compose the different phases, and you'll be able to select what activities you want to share with students and assign those activities to your students as part of the challenge. And some of the benefits of Packful are nonlinear innovation and thinking. So you'll be able to see that once you get through the platform, you're able to jump forward or backward on the phase depending on what you see more appropriate, depending on students' projects. You also have developed curriculum. So these are, again, activities that can be downloaded, and they're like fully available for your students. And of course, it promotes teamwork for your students to get in teamwork and do autonomy work, as well as provide you the opportunity to give students feedback through loops. So you'll see here a screenshot of how the platform works. So students explore the content through the explore phase. Then they go under do, and you will find all the different activities there. And they'll be able to submit all their work through that document phase here. And you will be able to give them feedback on that. So I just want to briefly share the platform so you have some background of how it looks. So this is the official website to join the challenge, as you have probably seen it around packful.org/JTIC24. This is a main page where you go and find all the details of the challenge. Once you're ready to apply, you just click that apply button here. And again, you can read all the details of the challenge here, which we'll go over more in detail in the moment. So this gives you like an overview of what the application process application looks like, which is like very straightforward to complete in the platform. So to create an account, just to sign in and create a teacher account. And we walk you through this process once we start the webinars training in January. So you don't have to worry about this, but I just want to give you an overview of what's coming ahead. So once you're able, I mean, you can start now and join the platform to just test it around and see how it works. But you can this code to your project. Lisa, I'm seeing that there's audio breaking.
Yeah, you're
up. If you
breaking up.
want
It might help if you stop your video, Bianca. It'll give more bandwidth to your audio.
go
Just turn off your camera. It might help your audio.
you'll be able to see that you are able to create projects here with your students, and they're able to join teams and add themselves to your class using the code. So again, we'll walk you through this process because we don't start with that until January. But right now, the main goal is for November and December to apply for the challenge, join the challenge, and we close submissions on January 10th. So what are the requirements? You need to be a middle or high school educator. Also, if you're like a non-private school, homeschool parents that organize a group of students that want to be part of the challenge, that's also a way that you can support students. Students have to be 13 years and older to use the platform. You have, as the educator, you have to have access to a Google account because we use the Drive to be able to download the activities. And of course, those are free to get. And we always promote diversity of age and gender in students' teams. And the application closed on January 10th. Anything that you want to say, Lisa? Any other thing
I do
about
just want to add, it may seem like a lot, like, oh, I've got to do activities and do logins and go to webinars. You don't. You could have your kids participate in the challenge event. And we do ask that they upload their pitches to the platform. That is the final way that we receive the documents. But the rest of it is hand-holding. It's just hand-holding for you. It's hand-holding for your students. And honestly, if use as much or as little of it as you need to be successful in your classroom. There are a lot of teachers that participate in our challenge that are also in other innovation challenges, and they're meeting other criteria. That's okay. But we do suggest that you at least look at the rubric that we'll be using to grade the pitches at the end, so you understand the criteria. But otherwise, we have had, I do want to say, we have had many teachers tell us that curriculum and the webinars were amazing because they were learning with their children. They didn't feel like they had to know everything up front. It was all there for them. And so that really is a goal for us, that you feel supported all through the process and it doesn't become overwhelming for you.
Thank you, Lisa. So just going over the timeline of what this will look like. So right now we're doing outreach November, December. So please share it with any other educators that you know. Then we start in January with our first webinar. And this is what Lisa was saying, like we walk you through the curriculum and how to use the curriculum before you have to do the activities with students. No, so you come, you join the webinar. Some teachers share the webinar recorded with their students, and that's okay too. They're all resources. So then we walk you through the different phases of the design thinking process, and we'll have guest speakers to support you in the process of understanding the curriculum, previous alumni. So they can share some feedback for you too. And here the key date, really the key date, because you can go in any you decide within your students internally when those activities are due for you, no? But for us, the main date is April 30th. That's when the pitches are due. That's when April 30th, that's when the pitches are due. And that's when you need to have your Packful challenge completed. And then we give awards on May 24th.
Bianca, Christopher asked, is there a maximum minimum number of students allowed in each group?
So for that one, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lisa, but we suggest 6 students, but it's really up to the educator. I think that's like a typical number that we see that it works for students, 4 to 6 students per group. But I think something that we suggest is that it's up to the educator.
Yeah, we don't have restrictions around it, but you know, I would say we do believe that innovation is social. And kids learn those skills through working with one another. So really would recommend at least 3 and probably no more than 6.
Yeah, definitely. And we're excited to describe to you the awards that we have coming up, thanks to the Jacobs team that help us helps us with all the financial process that has to go in hand to be able to do this. So we'll have the best overall social innovator award of $2,000, and we'll also have a few 500 awards of the most local impact award, the most global impact award, the most creative, and the one that advances social justice and equity award. We'll also have a few gift cards coming around for those that are part of the challenge and who are helping us spread the word through social media, where we see that they screenshot or take photos of students documenting what they're doing. They tag us on using the hashtag JTIC24, and those are the educators that win those gift cards. And of course, this is some notes about the awards, but depending on the country of residence, the winning team's award can be distributed in any of the following ways. You can designate a charity, you can donate it to your nonprofit school, or you can select an Amazon gift of your preference to your school, to your classroom. So those are like the different ways. Again, more details, if you want to follow up, are on the official website. You can read all the details more in depth. We also have a Photonics Innovation Award that deals with the transmission of light, and this is sponsored by DRS Daylight Solutions. And any comments, Lisa, you want to add about the awards?
No, I think in prior years, this is our 5th year. In prior years, we had like 1st place, 2nd place, 3rd place. And the reason that we went to categories is we found in our evaluation that some projects were really outstanding, like on local impact, like major local impact. But they were missing a big piece of the criteria, right? And it became really hard to evaluate a 1st, 2nd, 3rd. And so we got really focused on what are the big things that we're interested in helping kids learn more about. And it went to those categories.
Sorry, I was trying to go back to the categories.
That's okay. Yeah, so this idea, local impact being in your school or your community, global being our winner last year was a global impact project that had potential to impact around the globe in partnership with the UN. And so we get some really creative ideas. And so again, just the main thing you'll want to do if you don't go to any webinars and don't look at the curriculum, is definitely look at the rubrics that we're going to use for evaluating the projects.
Thank you, Lisa. And if you want to share some of the winning teams from last year.
Yes, I can go ahead and go through them. So first place last year went to Firefly Health, and that was a team of 3 8th graders from Mount Everest Academy based here in San Diego, California. The second place went to the Siren Project. That was a diverse team of high school students from Canyon Crest Academy in San Diego. The third place went to Gravity Powered Systems, created by a team of 4 10th grade engineering students from Kearney VTS in San Diego, California. And those were our winners.
Thank you, Anne. So we have a question in the chat. Feel free to send your questions and we'll answer them through the webinar. We'll have Q&A also in a minute. But the question is from Jackie: how many teams usually enter, and is this from San Diego only or the entire country? So Jackie, this competition is a global competition. We have like teachers participating from Mexico, Colombia, Japan, different really parts of the world. So it's open to any educators from all over the world, or any adult, again, that wants to lead a group of students, because they're the main educators who sign up for a teacher account and walk through the students through the design thinking process. And another question that you had, how many teams? So it's up to you as the educator to decide what classes you're gonna have as part of this challenge, what teams. Some educators we've seen sometimes like have their school club be part of the challenge. Some of them decide that the whole class is gonna be part of the challenge. As part of the platform itself, like there's no limit. You can add as many teams that you want. You can add as many classes that you want in the platform. Yeah, any comments there, Lisa, that you want to add about those two?
I wanted to add about, I think it was just coincidence, because we do blind review on the proposals. But we have educators in San Diego that work very tightly with us, so they understand our criteria. We have had teachers from all over the globe, over 30 countries participate. And we have had winners in other countries win in other years. So it's definitely open to everyone.
Yeah, thank you. So if you want to, again, the main key page here is pacfo.org/JTIP24. You go here to register for the challenge. And again, all the details of timeline, information sessions. We have another information coming up on December 7th, the last one. So if you know anybody else that wants to attend, have them register for that one. The goals, the prices, the timeline, the eligibility are here. And we'll also have, I was going to mention, to apply, just click here, apply for the 2020-24 Jacobs Innovation Challenge. You complete the form, very easy to complete, asking you very basic questions about the number of students who are going to be part of the challenge, your role, basic questions, and that way you're already part of the challenge. That's all you have to do. And then once we start with the first kickoff webinar in January 25th, then we'll start walking you and teaching you how to use the platform. So the only thing you have to do right now is registration.
Bianca, do you want to show on the website where they can see prior year winners if they're interested in looking at more of those?
Yes, so you can see prior winners. If you go up, you go to prior events. And we have, like, for the last 5 years, you have the different winners from the challenge there. But here's the one for last year, 2023. So if you go under prior events, 2023 challenge winners, you'll be able to see the actual video that Anne was talking about of the pitches that won last year. A description of their pitch, their actual pitch. So this was their winning pitch, what you see here. So that's like the main, again, going back to that timeline, this is what our key deadline for the pitches. No, they're due on April 30th, but we'll walk you first and train you on how to go about creating, guiding yourselves with a rubric, what we're looking for. We also get like the pitch deck, which is like a template. So we have all the resources available to you again in the platform. Feel free to like create an account, create a teacher account, and you'll have access to all the resources. But again, we won't start going over those resources until we kick off on January 10th. So for today, register, share the information with anyone else that might be interested. And here's the website. And we'll take questions, any questions or comments. Feel free to unmute yourselves or put it in the chat. And other than that, thank you for joining. Any other final words, Lisa?
I just wanted to comment that the feedback that we've had from students and teachers, once the process is over, that they've thought about themselves as an innovator and problem solver. That's powerful for me, that you don't have to feel like a victim of your circumstances, that you can take control in your community, in your school, and you can be a change maker. And we've actually had prior winners go on and win other challenges, win other funding. One of our teams developed an app for to control bus emissions and got funding from Google to actually build the app. So this is real innovation. This is planting the seeds early and working with kids who want to change the world and make it better. We really believe that and hope that you'll join us on the journey. Thank you so much for coming tonight, everybody.
Yeah, thank you. And again, feel free to stay if you want to ask any other questions or type it in the chat. I'll stop the recording in case anybody wants to go and ask questions off camera. But again, if you have any questions, feel free to email us. We'll send the recording of the webinar. If you want to stop the recording, Lisa, maybe.
Happy innovating.